I'm Richard.
I'm Oscar, and today we're talking about 4Kids and its importance.
Yes, indeed. Crazy company. Licensing company of the early 2000s. And they had it before, but they didn't really start popping off.
Yeah, their biggest boom was in the early 2000s. I think they founded, or at least the 4Kids that we are most familiar with founded in 1992, I think it was.
But they popped off with Pokemon. You remember the first episode of Pokemon when that was airing?
Yep.
I remember I was really young, and that was some crazy stuff. Like just seeing an completely different animation style to anything I've ever seen before.
All right, so what was your first introduction to, like, say, a Pokemon and 4Kids? Was it that Pokemon?
It was actually Yu-Gi-Oh, but Pokemon was what I mean. Both of them made so much money. But I watched Yu-Gi-Oh, and I watched it all the way through. Like they would have these marathons of Yu-Gi-Oh. And that was how we caught like things in sequential order. Because a lot of times you would just catch episodes there and be like, "What's happening?"
Yeah, you'd wouldn't be there in time like the next week during the block, and they'd be somewhere completely else.
Yep. Terrible. But they'd have these marathons, and that was the best way to watch it. And I'd spend like hours just watching Yu-Gi-Oh. And 4Kids was a big impact.
Yeah, just like my first introduction to 4Kids, I honestly can't remember, but it was either Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. I can't quite remember which one it was, but it was one of the two, as it is for just about literally 99% of people. It's one of those two, and it's just like, boy, did that shit take off.
Yeah. They're just quality shows, and the dubbing was actually good. Like, I remember Yugi's voice very, very fondly. Like, Yami and Yugi just had a great dynamic of Yami's always the deep Yugi.
You like the deep, like commanding, like,
and Yugi was the softer,
soft-spoken, a little bit meek.
And they really did a bang-up job with Yu-Gi-Oh, at least.
Yeah, just like the production itself, the production of like the dubbing itself was very good. Especially when they were popping off, like between like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, like those were very strong dubs.
Yep. But I guess we'll talk about some of the other titles. Like they had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The Ninja Turtles was big. That was probably a big acquisition for them.
Yep. There were so many. There's like Kirby.
Sonic.
Yep, Sonic X. My favorite Sonic like series. Like that was, I don't like Sonic otherwise, but that like don't get offended, Sonic lovers. But Sonic X popped off.
Sonic X did pop off for the little bit that I did see.
Shaman King was, for the few episodes I did catch, I enjoyed all of them. I never caught it in sequential order. I sadly missed that marathon. Sad.
It'd be like that.
But yeah, and then One Piece.
The infamous 4Kids One Piece.
But
replacing cigarettes with lollipops and bad raps and
the One Piece
Zolo.
Yeah, that I could go for hours on how bad that is. They really fumbled that so hard that One Piece has not recovered until like recently. And you know how they recovered recently? With a live action. Do you understand how bad you have to fumble the bag for a live action to be better than what 4Kids did?
So 4Kids acquired One Piece in 2003, 2004, something like that.
Something like that.
And just about 20 years later.
Yeah, it took 20 years to recover from what 4Kids did. But that's negative. we're gonna talk a little more positively about them.
We're trying to.
Trying to, because they did so much good, but then they dropped things off cliffs.
Yes. So, 4Kids had a slew of different things, of different properties that they aired and dubbed. Most notably being the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh franchises as a whole. You know, whether that be Yu-Gi-Oh, GX, 5Ds, and I think they had some issues after or starting Zexal, I believe, legally.
Yeah.
But for the most part, their biggest hitters were those Pokemon franchises and the Yu-Gi-Ohs, which I can say marked a large chunk of my Saturday mornings as a child.
Yeah.
Substantially.
It shaped a lot of American, Japanese, bringing Japan to the West.
Yes, just like people will tell you that they've never seen an anime, and they're lying to you because they have, and they just don't know it. Where it's like, because everyone has seen an episode of Pokemon and everyone has seen an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh at some point in their life. And it's just like they just don't recognize it because it aired on as a cartoon on originally on I think it was Fox, CW, not 4Kids Fox, I think it was. Then they went to CW 2008.
Pokemon is a cartoon like Avatar: The Last Airbender is an anime.
Yeah.
But no.
It's like, bro, they eat Onigiri and fucking Pokemon, bro.
Yeah. But most Americans will just be like, yeah, cartoon Pokemon.
Well, it's just like, it's animated. It's got the little animals running around. It's got to be a cartoon, right?
Yeah, it's a cartoon for kids.
4Kids.
For kids. But yeah. So I guess we'll just talk about the downfall of 4Kids now.
Involving Yu-Gi-Oh!
Involving Yu-Gi-Oh! As you'd mentioned before, Zetzel and their legal issues. Now, I think it was just some misunderstandings and
of the contracts.
Yeah, bad dealings. What they did.
But we have to specify what time. This was 2008.
Yeah.
So we have to specify what time of when this was happening, because we got to put the time. We got to put this in a box.
Yes.
Of time period. This was 2008 in the United States, because 4Kids was based out of New York City.
Yep.
So I specified 2008 in the United States was not a good time for anyone in this damn country. Far from it. Even I was a child. Richard here was a child.
Yep.
Even then, that shit sucked.
It was bad. No bueno.
No bueno for anyone. Let alone the 4Kids people who had beforehand, slightly before everything hit the wall.
Months before. They
turned most of their monetary assets into
housing and
real estate and banking and whatnot, thinking it would be a good idea. Because I don't know. They probably had some type of information stating that it probably was a good idea.
Yeah,
till it wasn't.
It was at the highest peak. That's why they call it the bubble.
The bubble burst.
Yes, the housing crisis was months away before they started investing in real estate. Oh, amazing stuff.
And it all came crashing down, and it hurt inside.
Yes.
So this started some financial woes, to where they started looking into other things, to make up for these financial woes, which led to them with some shady dealings with Funimation Entertainment and another group that is escaping my head at the moment, into some type of agreement, subleasing or some type of some type of other agreement where
it seemed pretty vague on the wiki.
Yeah, some type of other agreement with Funimation and this other company regarding some Yu-Gi-Oh licensing or something, where Funimation will receive money for Funimation and this other company using Yu-Gi-Oh, whether that be products or actual airing or whatnot. And TV Tokyo,
hell no,
the big poppy of fucking anime broadcasters, TV Tokyo.
What the heck you doing with my property?
The OG, one of the OGs, said,
man.
"Oh hell nah, brother, you ain't you making money? You leasing my leasing?
Yup. And
That we ain't doing that." And then sued the shit out of them.
Yup. Exactly. and that's pretty much where all gone wrong. Is all their properties were already in real estate and failing, and now their licensing was taken away.
Yes. Where TV Tokyo terminated their contract for the Yu-Gi-Oh rights, 4Kids rights to Yu-Gi-Oh, which, as stated earlier, one of their biggest hitters.
Yep, their big cash cow, and all their investments just down the drain.
Yes, and then I forget how much the lawsuit was for, but I think they settled for something.
It was like a couple million.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I think what was it? They wanted like $5 million or $10 million just in back pay. Where it's just like TV Tokyo wasn't even really upset that they were like subleasing or whatever. Their issue was that they weren't getting a cut of the sublease.
Yeah.
It wasn't an issue that 4Kids was working with Funimation and whatnot. The issue was that 4Kids pocketed all the revenue and didn't like, hey, you got to give us a little cut of that, bro. You got to cut that cake a little bit more. I need my slice.
Yeah, and when they were making so much money, you'd expect it to be pretty easy to slice off a little sliver of that cake, send it their way, but no, they're a licensing company, yet they decided property. Yep.
Someone in upper management was just like, man, this property's fucking popping off. Let's get into property.
I can't believe it wasn't like the One Piece that tanked it. No, it was just,
not even close.
It was just, yeah. People love the one. No, they didn't. Like everything they made was pretty profitable, but they, what I'm getting at is they made a lot of strange decisions.
Business decisions, like internal business decisions.
Yes. The reason that the One Piece dub is so bad is because they didn't really screen the licenses that they bought. They would
historically did not.
Yes, they historically did not look at any of them. They just saw it was a good deal and immediately made the purchase for many properties. There's like a whole list of properties that they owned but never aired. They were probably planning to air them eventually before they went bankrupt. But they never looked at the shows, and they would just figure it out later.
Yep, and this lack of screening is what gave us the famous Bandit Keith finger gun, what gave us the famous Sanji lollipop.
Yep.
The Helmeppo like hammer gun thing.
Most of the offenses are One Piece, but
yes,
there's some pointing instead of guns. And wacky stuff.
Brock eating jelly donuts when he's eating onigiri,
Yep.
Some more egregious than others, but
the Shadow Realm and stuff just
dying.
Honestly, not a terrible change.
Honestly, I feel like the Shadow Realm was probably cooler.
Yeah, not a bad change, but
it worked. They made it work.
Yeah, they made it. But yeah, they
just lots of head scratching decisions from the top.
Yeah, and the CEO of
which must be stated, the CEO, they had a long-standing CEO from 1992 to 2011, I want to say.
Yes.
I want to say he was the CEO right up until like they finally went to court with TV Tokyo. I think all those proceedings started in 2008, 2009, but they didn't go to court till like 2011. He stepped down right before that, or he either stepped down or it's forced out. I don't think it's specified too well. We'd have to dig a little bit deeper.
Yes.
But yeah, it was like Alfred Kahn, I want to say, something like that.
Alfred R. Kahn
was the CEO for about 20 years?
Yeah. He was responsible for collecting the properties and then the censorship of such. And,
yes.
His famous quote that I found is, "Kids these days don't read."
Which isn't necessarily wrong.
I mean,
was it wrong then? Is it wrong now either?
Kids. Every generation is just like these younger folks,
including you.
Yep. But I don't hate them because I think they're too much on their iPads and whatnot, or these kids don't read. It's just the classic. The older generation always gonna disapprove of the new hip folks for doing their newfangled dances.
Get lost, boomer.
Yeah. Okay, boomer. And thankfully, 4Kids was shut down.
Well, they went into
bankrupt.
bankruptcy.
Yes.
They filed for bankruptcy at the time after that lawsuit,
Yes.
and then they reformed into like a different group.
Yeah, it was just licensing corporation, very generic name.
Yes, where they still treaded water for like I want to say
It's like
after their formation. I want to say it was like 2012, 2013. I think they went to what 2017, where they filed bankruptcy again, mostly because at that point the
Yeah, you're right.
the licensing and dubbing market had finally caught up. Where so we had other groups doing it, like Funimation most notably,
Yep, and they're doing
and
it.
then other like studios were like acquiring like their own stuff.
Thankfully, other companies found what they could do what 4Kids was doing, but
Yeah.
better for the
Four
most
Kids
part.
had a vice grip on the market for the most part, and they somehow fumbled it with bad upper management.
Yeah, they really were a giant.
They were like they were the heavy hitter. They were on Fox and CW. That's in every household.
Yeah.
Well, it was the time when everyone had cable, but it was like they were in every household practically.
Yep. How the mighty fall.
And it's just like through sheer incompetence in upper management, as it goes with most corporations. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah,
They came tumbling down, and it'd be like that.
it'd be like that.
But despite tumbling down, their legacy is still like
Felt to this day.
felt to this day. It's gonna be felt for
generations.
like our hypothetical grandkids will be talking about 4Kids because they'll guarantee they'll still be rerunning those Pokemon, those
Yeah.
OG Pokemons gonna be on reruns.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be like they're gonna release some hit collection, like the entirety of Pokemon in like, or at least half of it.
Yeah.
There's too many. But like this season of Pokemon going on sale, and it's gonna like they're probably like re-release them, maybe run them on TV again.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, by then, standardized TV won't be a thing. It'll be all streaming. But regardless,
Yeah. Some streaming corporation will acquire the rights and run that shit.
That's a different topic, though. But regardless, they're going to be talking about it 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, 50 years. Pokemon's still going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Will still be a thing.
Can't believe Yu-Gi-Oh! Is still a thing.
They're on they're on their 7th show.
Yep. That's crazy. Crazy stuff. 4Kids defined a whole generation of cartoons, anime.
Yep, they were 99% of people's first introduction to anime, whether they know it or not.
Yes, indeed.
And for them, I think a lot of people have they got to give them some props in their thank yous because without
pretty
them,
fond memories.
without that, they shaped most people's. They shaped my Saturday mornings for a chunk of my life.
Yep.
Whether that be when they were on Fox or the CW, but it's just like every Saturday morning. So like, wake up, turn on the TV, and it's just like what's airing.
Just what's on. That's just what where the good shows were.
Yeah, where the stuff I wanted to watch was at.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts? Anything else to say?
Nothing really. It's just like
No. I think
it's like we kind of meme 4Kids nowadays, but like no, they were really important to.
they have really high highs and really low lows.
I couldn't say it any better myself.
All right. I've been Richard.
I've been Oscar, and we've been the Stowaways. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Take care.
You sitting up here and telling me